Hello and welcome to today's live stream, everyone. It's my pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Nathanael. I am the Sales Development Team Leader here at PleaseSign. We are a Luxembourgish company that specializes in providing an easy-to-use and cost-effective e-signature platform. We aim to partner with companies such as yourselves and help them on the way to a paperless operation and to digitize the age-old process of signing documents. With the PleaseSign platform, you can get any document signed anywhere and on any device in minutes. And in just a few minutes, we'll see one exact use case of that. We'll also have 5 minutes at the end of our stream today to answer any of your questions if you do have any. So if you have any questions now, or if during the stream any questions pop up, please comment them in the comment section and you'll hear them answered live at the end of the stream today. Otherwise, please feel free to send me an email. Well, let's get started. We're very happy today to be joined by Gregory Kennedy, who's the Business Development Manager over at the RegTech company Finsoft. Let's get him on the call now. Good morning, Gregory. Thank you so much for joining us on the call. How are you today?
Hey Nathaniel, I'm really good. Thanks for having me on your show.
My pleasure. Thank you also for agreeing to come on. Excellent. Maybe we could get started then. Could you tell us, please, a little bit about yourself and your position at Finsoft?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Gregory. I'm in charge of business development here at Finsoft, and I'd say my main role is to liaise with asset managers and understand their needs in terms of digitization, but mainly automatization of their processes.
Oh, awesome. That's definitely the way forward for a lot of our companies now, isn't it? Now, let's get stuck in. I think you have a demo for us today, don't you, to show us exactly how you assist in that automation? How do you do that?
Well, absolutely. So, in general, in the industry currently, our focus is on management companies primarily. Many of their processes are purely manual in the sense that they're using the Microsoft Office package. What we seek to do is to eliminate all the manual steps that they do in their processes so that they can really focus on the core of what is governance, risk, and compliance. So I'm just going to go across to my app now, and we're just going to dive straight into an example of how we can integrate digital signatures into our application. So you can see my screen, Nathaniel.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. So let's go straight into this. So what we have here is our oversight application, which is called FS Oversight. We've designed this to perform oversight over any type of delegate or intermediary that a management company would work with. The main process to collect data for management companies is essentially sending a questionnaire to the delegate, which they fill in. Then the management company will review this questionnaire, and that's how they sign off on the data. So that's exactly what we've done, but we've done it all automatically and digitally within our own application. So what we can see on the screen here is we're doing a mock. So this is fake data in our demo environment. We're doing an oversight over PIMCO, who act as an investment manager. And I need to have my review done by the 31st of August. So I've still got a bit of time. I've already kicked off the process, and the first step of my workflow was to send the questionnaire to the investment manager. The next step of my workflow was to review the answers from the investment manager. This is where we performed a line by line review of all the answers they provide to our questionnaire. Now, as the next step, we want to ask the investment manager or the delegate to sign off on the data they provided us. In order to do so, we've integrated with PleaseSign. And what we'll do is we're going to take the questionnaire, send it to PleaseSign, who are going to encrypt the document, and then have the delegate sign off on it. So we believe that this enhances your governance, risk, and compliance processes. So let's do it. So as said, once I hit this button here, the questionnaire will be sent to the delegate. So what I can see first is when I trigger the button, I can see who the system wants to send the questionnaire to. Great, I want to send to Susie Davis. I can have Susie Davis sign the document or simply receive a copy. If there's someone else who needs to be added to the signature process, I'll simply add via this user interface. Exactly in the same way it would work if you're using the PleaseSign app. We're going to keep it simple today and only send it to Susie Davis. Okay, so now I've triggered the process. and the questionnaire is being sent to the PleaseSign API to kick off the whole digital signature process. This will take around 30 seconds, but this is much faster than it would take in traditional mail, which could take
For
up to a.
sure. And so this is an all automated process then. So you don't have to even enter the PleaseSign environment to get the document sent. It sends automatically from your program FSO.
That's correct. So it's going to send automatically from our application FSO, and no attachments are required, no emails required. And also on the recipient side, they're going to receive the email, which we'll see in about 10 seconds, but they do not need access to the PleaseSign application either. So it's very, very simple. So let's take a look. I'm coming across to this Gmail inbox, and this is acting as a proxy as the inbox of the recipient of the questionnaire who we're asking to be signed. So if I refresh the inbox, I can see that I've received an email from PleaseSign. I can take a look and I can see that PleaseSign are asking me to sign off on the document, and it's coming from the management company. So what do I do as the recipient? I'll press on Review Document. I have to accept the terms and conditions surrounding digital signature. And then I'm taken to the document which I'm asked for signature. So I can see the details of the document. So as said, this is a questionnaire. So I can see the question that was asked to me, but also the answers I provided. Once I'm satisfied that these are the full set of answers I provided, I can press next, and it takes me to the signature section of the document, where I can just hit on Please Sign, and I can draw my signature, and I can simply adopt that signature. And to finish the process, I'll press on Finish. So great. So now I know I've finished the process, but now this is where it gets exciting. I come back into my inbox, and in about 10 seconds, I'm going to receive a signed copy of the document, but also an audit trail showing all the steps that were made. So let's take a look. Here it is already. DocuSign have sent me the document. PleaseSign, sorry, big mistake there. PleaseSign have sent me the document, and I can simply download it. And there's two things we're going to take a look at. Actually, the actual signed document, but then as the second step, the audit trail, which I find much more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. Here's the document. I can see that the document's open. I've got questions, I've got answers, and here I can see my signature. But more importantly, what I can see is that the document has been certified and comes with a digital certificate. This essentially guarantees that my document is encrypted and it cannot be changed after I'd sent it off for signature. And I've got different details about who signed it and so forth. But what I prefer is the audit trail. And this is really gives me the comfort that I've identified the correct person to sign the document. And should there be any legal dispute, I have a huge burden of proof that I could bring into the court to evidence that indeed the recipient of this document actually signed it. So what can I see? I can see the message that was sent to the recipient. I can see the name of the recipient, their email address, their IP address, but also the relevant timestamps. Okay, so this document is also certified, meaning that it cannot be altered without the sender knowing. So that's what I love about digital signatures is all the evidence and proof and the way it ties the sign of a document to the document itself. To complete the process, I'll just come into my application, FSO, and I pull in the document, and now I've received a signed copy of the document. So that's it for the demo, Nathanael.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That's a really great demo, very concise. Thanks. I can really imagine, like you're talking about the audit trail and also the those data points, I can imagine that would really provide far greater peace of mind for a management company having that confirmation.
Exactly. The communication is eased, so everyone is notified and there's full transparency in the process, which simply could not be achieved following the wet signature process.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thanks again for that demo, Gregory. That was really well done. So now we have a couple of questions. So when you integrated PleaseSign into your program FS Oversight, would you say it was a particularly troublesome integration or particularly easy?
Well, it was actually relatively quite straightforward. So I'm not a developer myself, but I work closely with the developers. in our company. And they managed to integrate with PleaseSign within 1 day. And this was largely thanks to the awesome support we get from you guys, but also the clear and thorough documentation that's available on your website.
Oh, awesome. Well, we'll always take such compliments as those. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's good. It's nice also to be able to integrate with programs such as yourselves. So we do have another question for you, but maybe before we do that, we can preface it a little bit. Could you tell us, please, a little bit about your personal history, your background in the financial industry? Are you new to the financial industry since joining Finsoft, or excuse me, have you been in the industry for a while?
Well, so I wouldn't say I'm an old timer, but I've been around long enough to understand how the industry works. So my background is really in terms of education. I've been educated in business management, but also finance. So that gave me huge insights into the fund industry, essentially. And then after graduating, I worked at the transfer agency at JP Morgan within the cash department, but also the pricing teams, which really gave me a huge understanding of how funds are processed from A to Z. I then moved on to Knipe, where I worked as a relationship manager with some of the largest players in the industry, where we mainly managed their reporting requirements. So I believe that these areas gave me quite an in-depth understanding of the industry.
Awesome. Excuse me. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So we can definitely see you're someone with a broad range of experience and a good understanding in and of the industry. So now, if you were to look back on that experience and think about the current market, not only with necessarily the changes with COVID and working from home and things like that, but also just the natural evolution of companies and industries, do you believe it's necessary? Do you see the need for financial services and institutions to adopt such innovations as e-signatures?
Absolutely, absolutely, Nathaniel, and that's why I joined this call. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 4 points of why I think financial institutions should adopt digital signature. So,
Please.
the first point is, and this really is centered on governance, risk, and compliance. Digital signatures enhance the security of your process. Now, what I mean by this is that if we just look at the example of sending the questionnaire, what happened is I sent the questionnaire, but even before the recipient received it, PleaseSign encrypted the document. This means that if the recipient altered it, I would be notified. So this gives me confidence that my documents, which are signed, are not being manipulated after the fact. That's point one. Point two is I believe that digital signatures are a much higher standard of authentication than wet signatures could ever be. This being that when you're sending the document to the email, you're tying it to their email address, their IP address, the time that they sent the document, and so forth. So these are things that are very hard to falsify. Whereas in a wet signature process, you're sending something out in the mail, and who knows what happens before you get it back. You simply don't. So, point three, and this is probably what I think is the most exciting thing and most relevant thing for financial institutions, is you can streamline your processes. So, if we just look at the questionnaire that I sent out, we got it signed within it was about 1 minute because we're doing a demo. Let's say it's a real life scenario, this could have taken 1 day. Maybe the person needs time to review the document. But in a wet signature scenario, this could have easily taken a week, 2 weeks to a month, and it could have just got lost in the mail. That's the other thing. When you sign a digital document, digital documents rarely just simply disappear. Okay, and then the fourth point is really, and this is, I can't insist more, is that digital signatures are absolutely legal. So in the United States, in the European Union, all over the world, there's legislation that clearly stipulates that digital signatures are authorized for transactions. Okay, and what I would say to the audience is, in Europe, the regulation is called eIDAS, and I strongly recommend you take a look at that regulation. If not, there's great recap of the regulation on PleaseSign website. So those are my 4 points, and so yeah, really adopt digital signatures today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for those really well thought out points, Gregory. Very well presented. We really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us today and show us also that short demo of the FS Oversight program. That seems like a really exciting program. And thank you also for sharing with us your thoughts on e-signatures. Thank you so much.
No worries, Nathaniel. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your coffee, everyone.
Thank you. Enjoy the day. Bye.
Cheers.
Well, there we have it. We've heard from the RegTech leader, FinSoft's Gregory Kennedy. Wasn't it nice to have him on the call today on our very first PleaseSign Live? If any of you have any further interest in learning more about the FS Oversight application or the other service lines that FinSoft provides, Gregory's been very kind to offer us his email. It should be coming up on the screen right about now. There it is, right here. If you'd like to learn more about FinSoft or about FS Oversight, please feel free to send him an email. It's gregory.kennedy@finsoft.lu. Now, also, if you would like to learn any more information about PleaseSign or about e-signatures in general, please feel free to send me an email. There's my email address, nathanael.baier@pleassign.eu, and I'd be more than happy to have a chat. Also, just a chat about e-signatures as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be about our platform, but if that interests you as well, then I'd also be more than happy to schedule a demo with you. Well, thank you so much for joining us so far. We do actually have one question that's been submitted to us, which we can answer live here. It's by Ben. Hi, Ben. Thanks for joining the call. Ben's question was, I guess the notifications sent out by PleaseSign can be branded with my own company branding. Great question, Ben. Exactly, that can be done. So if you have the business account on PleaseSign, that gives you a whole range of extra features, including one of those being branding. So it's super easy. I do it for pretty much all of the demos that I prepare, and it literally takes me 5 minutes. So you can change everything from coloring to adding your own logo to quite literally every part of that signing page that you saw demonstrated by Gregory. You can change the color of every part of that. So you can really make it match your company's branding, look, feel, logo, all that kind of stuff. You can even change the colors on the buttons. So great question. Thank you so much again for joining, Ben. So thank you all so much for joining our stream today. We hope to do these streams a little more often, and you can expect to see interviews like these with use cases as well. And we'll also be demonstrating e-signatures in various other industries and other sorts of use cases. And we might even do a couple of feature highlights talking about things just like that branding. Thanks again for joining the stream, and we hope to see you again soon. Once again, my name's Nathanael from PleaseSign. See you on our next show.